What's up, y'all? Welcome to Breaking the Kernel. And today we're going to be talking about Kendrick Lamar. Alright, because unless you're hiding under a rock, Kendrick Lamar basically threw a repass for Drake. I don't know. I'm a loss of words because I've never seen something like that before, right? Because on the serious note, basically he threw a concert with a bunch of people. DJ Mustard, J Rock, Schoolboy Q, Dr. Dre, a lot of people, many more. Russell Westbrook, DeMar DeRozan, LeBron James was there, James Harden was there, Rick Ross was there, The Weeknd was there, SZA was there, many more people were there, and it was just a beautiful thing, man. I just want to dive right into it because this is a topic that I thought was very, very, very interesting. I've never seen a concert upset so many people before. Because I stay offline a lot these days, but especially when it comes to things where just discourse is going to be included because it's just always really toxic and it's a lot. But man, I've just seen some really weird takes about this. Really, really weird takes. Like, a lot of people online are saying that black people, and this is from other black people saying this. They're like, black people or African Americans are so, if I'm trying to like paraphrase this a little bit, African Americans glorify gang culture because we watched this concert. And I just can't subscribe to that because for some people, for some people, gang culture is something they grew up with. That's their truth. That's their experience that they then put into their music or put into their movies or put into their TV shows, right? And I always say the well-written dramas that involve gang culture are usually the ones that have a perspective in which they don't glorify it. They more show how raw, how upsetting, and how systematic some of these experiences are. And I feel like through this concert, with this pop-out concert basically that Kendrick did, some of his music's always been about, his perspective. It's been about his personal growth, his personal journeys, a lot of his perspective going and seeing the world through his eyes, and he shares that through his music, which is where some of the deeper meaning that he's known for comes from, right? It comes from some of those underlying messages that he's trying to relate to us through his experiences. And it was just really beautiful to see West Coast culture and that section of African American in culture being displayed in such a fun loving environment. In this day and age, it is really dangerous to have public gatherings like that, especially with situations be as they may. And from what I know of, the concert went without a hitch. Everyone got in and left safely, and there was no incident. And I feel like that's a blessing. That's something that should be discussed more than, oh, this is celebrating gang culture, or, oh, people are going to die because of it. And I've seen so many. Again, I really tried my best to stay offline before recording this because I felt like this is just something else to me that I just wanted to get off my chest or just talk about because I just thought the show was phenomenal. But I couldn't help but just see some not messages, but tweets about people talking about, oh, this is going to divide the country further, or not the country, but divide the black community further, and all these different things. And I didn't get that from this show. I got a completely different perspective. I got my childhood on screen as an adult, my teenagehood, or whatever you want to call it. Like, my teenage years was Kendrick Lamar, Schoolboy Q, J Rock, some YG. I wasn't a huge YG fan personally, but I do listen to I have listened to a couple of his songs before, of course. Tyler the Creator popped out. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was so cool to see Russell Westbrook and DeMar DeRozan, of course, Dr. Dre, like, and there's many others, right? But there's also what was really cool. This concert displayed and showed artists that I've never heard of. Because again, I lived in the West Coast for like at least a decade plus. But I wasn't born there. I was born on the East Coast and still live in the East Coast currently. So like, I don't know much about LA culture or California culture in general, for sure. And how could I? You know, there's so much. It's such a deep, rich culture. It's not always about gang violence. It's not always about the crack epidemic. It's not always about those things. Those things are a part and entrenched into our history and the culture, but that's not what makes up the culture. And I feel like people lose that. I feel like people, because of the nature of the Kendrick Lamar versus Drake beef, took that as like every single thing Kendrick does is just to insult Drake. It's just about violence. This is coming from a place of bitterness, and I just don't see it that way. Because the concert wasn't just about the diss songs. Like, yeah, he opened up with Euphoria. He did perform 616 in LA. He did end it with like 5 times of Not Like Us. But he did play Money Trees. He did play King Kunta. Tyler the Creator came out and did play Earthquake. Schoolboy Q played Collard Greens and that part. Like, Dr. Dre came out, California Love, all the, like, especially J-Rock. It was so beautiful to see J-Rock, Kendrick Lamar, Schoolboy Q grace the stage together. And Schoolboy Q was looking top to form. That man was hype. Like, seeing him do his thing, seeing Schoolboy Q do his thing like that was pretty cool. And I really liked how much energy him and J-Rock did. I want to say, I could be wrong, I wouldn't say it was J-Rock and Kendrick who, or at least J-Rock was there when Kendrick was performing 616 in LA, I think. Mistake me if I'm wrong on that. But that was a beautiful moment. That was really badass. And the fact that Kendrick, his breath control first, like, we like to make jokes about the push-ups in the park and everything. Well, he was in tip-top shape to perform the way he did. It was just a great concert. I've never personally been to a concert ever in my life. So to see that, I never really watched concert movies or anything. So this is like my real first experience with all of that. And it was nice. It was a really cool experience, and it was so nice to be exposed to so many different LA or California artists or West Coast artists that I don't know of. Or maybe I heard their music before, but I never really put the face to the music, and vice versa. So it was cool to see that. I know a lot of people got exposed to a lot of new music that night, and that's something that's cool too. A lot of memorable moments: Russell Westbrook, DeMar DeRozan, LeBron James. That was tough. The production value on this thing was amazing. I mean, every time when Kendrick was performing Not Like Us, and he would say the like wop 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 wop, and then you would see the camera just do these quick cuts. Like, production wise, I like that. I loved seeing that. Like, it added a dynamic factor to his performance. I really liked that. And this was Amazon Prime. I'm not gonna lie to you. I wasn't expecting this from Amazon Prime. Why no other streamer jumped on this opportunity, I will not understand. But Amazon Prime, who's in constant negotiations to take over the sporting world and live stream world, this is a win for them. The only person who won more than J. Cole through this whole thing is Amazon Prime. Because now Amazon Prime is etched in history already, but now etched in history in this moment of black culture / hip-hop and rap culture, because every time someone passes a clip of this or whatever, they're like, yo, that was on our streamer. Like, they're in talks right now, I believe, to get some rights for that, to watch stream some NBA games, and I think they already have some NFL Christmas games and Thursday Night Football and stuff like that. So like, they're showing people like, yo, we can stream live events and it will go off without hitch. We have great production value. We know a good thing when we see it, and if you want to trust us with your product, we can take care of it and it will explode. We have the consumer base for that. We have the subscribers for that. Because if you think Amazon's going to stop at just like the NBA and NFL, you're wrong. The World Cup's in the U.S. in a couple of years. The Olympics is in the U.S. in a couple of years. If you think Amazon's not trying to finesse, even if it's later down the line from that, if you don't think Amazon's going to try to be like, yo, we can do live events better than anyone else, you will be sorely mistaken. So they definitely won this. Another thing I didn't like is that I feel like people are letting Drake pass with a lot of BS. And they're putting that, and the only time I'm not even trying to dive into the beef itself. I really just want to focus on the concert. But I think this is important to note, and this is why I had to make a new video because I felt like I didn't dive into it as much as I wanted to. Drake asked for this. He challenged Kendrick. This man also he spent money to put out a bulletin board in I believe Times Square, Manhattan. I believe he did that, saying that rap is a competition and all this other stuff. And then he made songs. And he was like, "Oh, Kendrick, don't hide," like all this stuff. Kendrick didn't hide. Kendrick is running. He's challenging. He's direct. He's doing all these things. And Drake also fired back. And I just feel like there's this thing where people are trying to make Drake seem like he's some innocent bystander, like he's a villain and all this, when he is the one who, at least when it comes to this specific timetable of this beef, asked for this. He asked for this. And I just don't understand, like, we're just giving him a pass. And I say all that to say this. People are saying, people are trying to make Kendrick to be this monster, and that he's bullying Drake, and that this concert was unnecessary and just further divided people. And I don't think so. I just don't see it that way. And I see people online, and it's not just about this, but it's about all kinds of stuff like this. So people feel like they take some type of high road and feel like they're better than everybody else. And it's like, you're not. You're really not. And your take's not original. My take's not original. It was a well-produced concert. Kendrick put on a masterclass of how to do a concert. Like if I went to a concert, I would want it to be something like that, where it's like I'm not hearing this whole song being played by your studio recording and you're just lip syncing or like singing over it, and then like the studio recording is kind of drowning out your sound and your voice. Like Kendrick damn near sound like the studio recording itself when you play it back on your phone or your device or whatever, and you listen to the live stream. It's like he did a really great job of really emoting, performing, and just even adding some bars here and there. And then the fact that he was dapping people up when he was playing like Not Like Us for like the third time, by the way, or whatever, like third, fourth time, he was that many songs deep. And it was like the end of his show too, towards the end, and he was dapping people up, taking pictures, doing the whole thing while performing with no backtrack. Like there's no, it's just him. It's just his voice. Like that's crazy concentration and breath control. Like that's crazy. Like let's not lose sight on that. That's a master class, bro. I'm not a rapper. I'm not a singer. None of that. I don't do that type of live performance. I used to do stand-up comedy, so I couldn't imagine trying to do jokes or do. So I know that's two different avenues and stuff. But basically, I'm trying to say I couldn't imagine. I know how much concentration it takes to do a live performance, and there's more than just remembering, like regurgitating the stuff you remember. There's a lot more to that, to a live performance. So I know how much concentration it takes, and for him to do that and be able to mingle with his people is an amazing opportunity, an amazing thing. And the fact that the audience was singing his songs bar from bar, and people are like, "Oh yeah, well this concert, he needed this diss track to make himself relevant, or else he wouldn't have been able to have this kind of concert." That's just not true. That's unfair. It's petty. It's not true. Take out Not Like Us, Euphoria, 616 LA. He still had a plethora of songs that he performed. He didn't even perform Meet the Grams, by the way, which would have been damn near demonic. Imagine him performing Meet the Grams 5 times. He would have had something like a demon or something. That would have been like a demon ritual or something like that if he did that. But he didn't perform. I don't believe he performed Humble. Right? He didn't perform Rick and Mortis. I don't think. There's so many songs he had. Like people are acting like he's just Not Like Us, and they're acting like they're putting this bubble that they don't put Drake in. They're putting Kendrick in this bubble, and that's just unfair. And some of the songs he like Money Tree. Even, I think Drake really he had a bar or something about like Kendrick not playing Money Trees or something like that, and it's just. I just want people to understand that Drake's an equal participant. I'm not saying Kendrick is the savior, he's the can't do no wrong, nothing like that. I just want people to understand that Drake is not an innocent bystander in this, and that he had started beefs before and ended beefs before and all that stuff. He's not some innocent bystander, bro. And I just feel like real and and being authentic, you get things like this concert that Kendrick threw, where you get your genuine friends to come and perform songs like those songs I listened to all throughout high school. That's how long Kendrick's been active. High school, college, like middle school, high school, college. Like I've always wanted to see those. I always wanted to see Colored Greens and that part performed live. And the fact that I was able to do it, not technically in person, but I was still able to see it. I never thought I was going to be able to see that. And the fact that I was given that is such a cool experience. And see all those black faces on stage taking that photo and embracing Kendrick, embracing their culture that they're also been a part of. It was an amazing and beautiful moment. And to rob that moment for some type of like nonsense about violence and stuff it's disingenuous to me. It's just not right. Not many people are doing that or can do what Kendrick just pulled off. And I feel like people are taking the wrong message from this thing. LA has went through a lot. There's a lot of I have family that lives out there. Like a lot of stuff that LA natives have went through, and very little they've been able to celebrate for. And the fact that they're able to do it that night is really, really cool. And I learned a lot more about the culture, not everything, but I learned more about the culture, more about the hip hop and rap culture in particular. I think that was cool. I think the concert was cool. The production was cool. Amazon Prime are big winners, big dubs for them. I just don't want this to turn to a thing where it's like, oh, Kendrick he's doing too much now. He's doing this. Like, okay, where was that same energy from when Drake did the Family Matters video? Drake spent more money on this beef than Kendrick. Kendrick got paid twice, deuces, for that concert. Drake had to pay for the ad in New York. Drake had to pay for the Family Matters video. Kendrick made money. Like there's levels to this in my opinion. And he had a great time with his friends, man. And let's not forget, Drake made that AI song with AI Tupac and AI Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg's still alive and well, and he made that song, bro. He used AI voice. He knew Snoop Dogg wasn't going to do no song about that. It dissing Kendrick. Then he made one about the West Coast legend Tupac, to the point where Tupac's estate had to be like, take that shit down. And he took it down. Like, the amount of disrespect that Drake did on his front, not only just to Kendrick, but to their whole culture, is the reason why you got an environment where that culture does not mess with them. And also, I feel like Drake and his fans sometimes forget that he's not American either. And that Canada has their own history. And their own history, and not only just their history, but history with black people. Right? And I feel like Drake was so entrenched in American culture and being so prevalent in American culture, he forgot who he was messing with. And the love and support the West Coast have. I'm telling you, if no one who's been to the West Coast like that, especially Compton and Inglewood and some of those other areas, they really ride in love for each other. Like just like their people, the music scene out there, the rap scene out there, like is different. Just like how New York has their culture, Atlanta and the South has their culture. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just different, and they showed a bit of it on display there and some unity. And I thought it was beautiful what Kendrick said about Kobe and Nipsey Hussle. Going to the last Heart Part 6, or whatever the part he did, or Part 5 that he did. Sorry, not Part 6, but Part 5, I believe, that he did. There's a lot of nods to it, and I feel like it was pretty cool. Amazon did their thing with that. PJ Lang did the thing with that. TDE did that thing with that. Kendrick did his thing with that. All the performers did the thing. I've never seen Russell Westbrook that happy in my life. It was a beautiful cultural moment. It was a moment in history a lot of people are never going to forget. And I'm happy I was able to watch that live for the most part. And shout out to Tyler, the Creator, man. Shout out to Vince Staples. I know he's on tour internationally. Shout out to him for that. So he couldn't make that concert, but it would have been cool to have Vince there. I'm really sad he was able to be there for that. So it was cool. And I think, and one last thing, people are like saying like, oh, this is going to start a war or something or whatever, right? If anyone was going to get hurt, because I did see a tweet about this. This is why I'm really bringing up stuff I saw right before I really recorded this today. People are like saying that Kendrick's inciting a war, inciting violence, and it's like, okay, You know what's dangerous? What's dangerous is Drake using AI to have in a diss song that Snoop Dogg's involved with another LA artist. That's dangerous. But people don't address that. People act like this Kendrick's concert is gonna destroy the world when Drake's the one who put Snoop Dogg that has his thing going on against Kendrick in a way that could have been dangerous. If people didn't really know, like if people mistaken that AI, it could have been real dangerous. If Drake was really even more reckless with it and said some things he really shouldn't have said, and made, quote unquote, made Snoop say that because of the AI, or made Tupac say it with the AI, it really could have caused a lot of friction. But people don't talk about that aspect. And I feel like it's just unfair to do this thing where it's like, oh, Kendrick's the monster. Kendrick's just really, really fucking good at rapping. Kendrick also despises Drake, apparently. And Kendrick also doesn't do all the other flash. Like, he was laser focused on his enemy. He said what he wanted to say. He did what he wanted to do, and now he's recording some secret music video in Compton on Saturday. We don't know what. I'm assuming it's not like us. But hey, if it's, I personally would like it to be 616 LA. I think that's his underrated song in this whole thing, and I think that song would be really, really, really cool. To see music video, but not like us. Obviously, would be pretty dope, and it'll be a phenomenal music video regardless. That's really what I wanted to say on this. This whole notion that Drake fed Kendrick information, if he really did, is psychotic. It doesn't make any sense. I think he underestimated how much Kendrick hated him. I think he underestimated how much the West Coast would ride for him. I think he underestimated his love, like people's love for him. And that's one tip I'll tell y'all before I go, is like, do not test people's love for you like that, because you will not like what you see. You will not like what you see. I'm not saying people shouldn't love you. I'm not saying people shouldn't be loyal to you. But I'm saying when you're on the potentially the wrong side of history, or you're testing people's patience, or you do a lot of people dirty, and you try to test their love for you, they're going to show you how they really feel. And I just feel like faking information and letting those songs come out the way they did against you, when it's being a psychopath. That's really deranged behavior. So I don't know how Drake fans fuck with that at all, but it is what it is. But tell me your thoughts about the concert. Tell me your favorite moments of it. I think Dr. Dre coming out and doing California Love, all that stuff, and then leaving with "Psst, I see dead people," and then Not Like Us playing was sick. That was nasty work. That was clinical nasty work, bro. And like, it was nasty. It was nasty work, because I didn't expect that. Like, first of all, to get Dr. Dre out of the house is crazy work, bro. Like, that was so sick. That's such a beautiful moment, man. Like, just seeing all your legends come up, and you just don't see that as a New York City native. Like, I would love to see some. Man, it's just cool, man. It's cool. I'm really happy for Kendrick. I hope it filled his heart. I think it filled his heart to see all his friends come out for him. He tested love that night, and he wasn't disappointed. But he didn't have to be, because, for all accounts, he looks like a solid. It looks like a solid. I don't know the dude, but when people show out for you like that, it's usually because you got some love. You did right by people. You got some love. So we'll see. But yeah, tell me your favorite moments of the concert. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Subscribe to our podcast on Apple or Spotify. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're listening to this only. See you on the next one. Peace.